Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to Against the Public for Sunday, April 21st. I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining me. We're the only show to analyze early betting patterns by the public, and we've done that once again with 3 free National Hockey League plays for Sunday. After the show, I will also have my top NBA, Major League Baseball, and another slew of NHL plays already locked and loaded into a 3-pack. And of course, you guys know you can get that 3-pack for one low price of $49.99. And of course, that comes with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee that states you must profit or receive an immediate site credit for the purchase price. In addition, there's only one way to get every single one of my plays for one low price, and that's to become an all-access member. And you could do so for the next 30 days for less than $11 a day, the next 90 days for less than $10 a day, or get on board with my annual all-access pass that will give you every play for the next year for just $3.56 a day. And guys, I always want to remind you, and I appreciate all my NBA customers, but we've crushing the NBA this year, over 1,000 units won. So you know what we've done there. But don't sleep on the NHL. And I think a lot of guys don't jump on the All Access Pass because they're like, well, I'm going to get NHL in that, and I don't like to play that. Guys, it doesn't matter where the money comes from as long as it does. And if you've been an All Access customer, you know in the NHL over the last 7 days, 62% winners. So it doesn't matter if you love the NHL, don't love the NHL. A lot of people do. It's a lot more popular than it used to be, especially betting wise. But again, don't let that go, make you go somewhere else and not, get on an all access pass, because the money is there to be made in the NHL, especially in the postseason. So let's make sure we go ahead and do that. Okay, let's jump on our 3 free plays for Sunday in the NHL. And we'll start things off 12:30 Eastern Time, game 51-52. Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Florida Panthers. These are all going to be totals. Florida minus $1.70, 5.5 over minus 20. And these two teams meet once again in the Stanley Cup postseason. It's the third time in 4 years that they've done so. Panthers are as deep and as dangerous as anybody in the league, especially in that top 6. And it really is determined whether or not that bottom 6 is going to, how much they're going to contribute. But there's still a ton of talent on that bottom 6 for both teams to be able to push a lot of these games over the total. And the earlier in this series that it is, the more likely that these games will be, especially in this series, will be a high-paced affair. And of course, you have 3 top 20 scorers in the top 6 for the Panthers. Sam Reinhart, 57 goals. I know Buffalo Sabre fans are just like, what? Who is this guy? Because he certainly wasn't that way in Buffalo. 57 goals this year. On the second line, Carter Verhaeghe, another guy that, how long would you go down the list before you guessed that Carter Verhaeghe had 34 goals this year? He anchors that second line, and the Lightning can match that. They have 2 40-goal scorers on that top line with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, and in Steven Stamkos on that second line. When you got a guy like Stamkos on your second line, there's a lot of firepower. And I know that Tampa Bay was down this year a little bit, but believe me, John Cooper is going to flip the switch, and this team's going to be as dangerous as they have been in the past. Fatigue, as I said, will not be a factor early on in this series. This is going to be a fast-paced game to at least start. I think both teams really want to flex their offensive capabilities. 5.5 to me is very low. I thought we were going to see a 6 in this. There's going to be plenty of chances and plenty of room for the Stars to shine. This is not going to be it's not going to be last year where you're going to see the Florida Panthers all over the ice and blocking shots and clogging up the middle of the ice. I think there's going to be a lot of room on the ice. So we're going to go over 5.5. And then game number 2, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 53-54 is your rotation numbers. Washington Capitals against the New York Rangers. Rangers minus 240, 5.5 under minus 15. And there's only one way the Capitals are going to keep up with the Rangers, and that's to control the spacing on the ice, control passing lanes, finish checks, and slow down the pace. This was the formula that got them into the postseason. They won 4 of their last 5 games, all as an underdog. They beat Detroit 2-1. They beat Tampa Bay 4-2, and they shut out Boston 2-0. In Philadelphia, they got by them 2-1, and a game that the Flyers desperately needed to win. They've been playing very well defensively. Rangers have allowed just 6 goals in their last 3 games, cashing 3 straight unders. The under is 6-4 in their last 10 meetings, including their last 2 meetings and 3 of their last 4. And of course, we know in net, Charlie Lindgren has been absolutely terrific. He's come up big when he's needed, and they played very well in front of him. His defensemen have played very well in front of him. Brings a 1.40 goals against average into game 1. We're going to go under the 5.5. And then game number 3, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 55-56. Colorado Avalanche versus the Winnipeg Jets. Jets minus 112, 5.5 over minus 20. This is an interesting series because, as you probably know if you do this on a daily basis, you know that the Colorado's actually favored to win this series, and they don't have home ice to start. And I always said in the postseason, I would much rather go on the road and play in front of a hostile crowd, because really all you have to do is steal one of these games and you go home 1-1, and now you have home ice advantage, and now it's a completely different series. If you can't win on the road, you're not going to win this series anyway, so you might as well try to get this out of the way. And of course, we know Colorado and Winnipeg are mostly been neck and neck with each other for most of the season. In fact, Winnipeg dropped back, as we know. I don't know, about 3 weeks ago they dropped back and then went on that ferocious win streak to kind of get into that second spot. But a lot of people think Colorado, including the odds makers, are the better team in this. To me, this comes down to secondary scoring. Which teams are going to have the most secondary scoring between probably a bottom 6 that struggles. I mean, let's just face it, as the series goes on, or I'm sorry, as the postseason goes on, I think both of these teams are going to struggle to find bottom 6 scoring, but I don't think that they will early on in this series. So this comes down to Ross Colton's line. This comes down to Adam Lowry's line. Which one is going to say, okay, we're going to join our potent top 6 and be an offensive scoring threat, something we haven't been all season long. So I think that mentality is going to create a high-paced affair, and I think we're going to go over the 5.5 in game number 1. So that does it for your 3 free plays for Sunday. Please go to pickdawgz.com, get involved with one of my many all-access passes that are up there right now. You get that 3-pack, you get the all-access pass, get every play tomorrow that I release for one low price, and of course, season passes are always available. You can get the NBA and NHL postseason passes. They're up there too, so make sure you get involved with one of those. Thank you just so much for everybody that has so far. I appreciate your trust, and I appreciate you putting your money behind me. So here's your 3 free plays for Sunday in the NHL. Here's our recap: 9:30 Eastern Time, Tampa Bay, Florida. Over 5.5, and I guess that's not Eastern Time. That's the Pacific Time, but 12:30 Eastern Time, and then 3 o'clock Washington Rangers under 5.5, and at Colorado Winnipeg over 5.5 is your third play. So that does it for today's show. Thank you to everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody that comes back every day. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Everybody says the same thing, so I guess that helps you out some. So please do that if you would. I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your plays on Sunday.